Hello, GMO-free Idahoans. Jenny and I today are visiting Kay Johnson, who makes chocolate bars, delicious chocolate bars that he sells all over the valley. So Kay, we did discuss a little bit earlier how you've been in the food industry for quite some time now. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you transitioned into making chocolate?
Well, I started in about 1970 in the food business, selling groceries as a manufacturer's rep to grocery stores. And we found that the well-known brands were the ones that sold the best, and we didn't always have the best-known brands, but we were looking for other things to sell, and along the way a company contacted us and said, we have a pre-cooked turkey breast that we'd like you to sell to restaurants. And so we started off with that, and initially that was a hard sell because the restaurants were saying, well, we can buy turkey so much cheaper. But our response was, well, but with the turkey breast, all you need to do is thaw it and slice it, and you can make a turkey sandwich. You don't even need an oven to roast it. And gradually that business began to catch on. Along the way, though, somebody came up with the idea of not our company, but somebody else came up with the idea of, well, we could pump some water in that turkey breast and we could sell it for a cheaper price per pound, which I was appalled, but that's what began to happen. Eventually, somebody came up with the idea after a few years of, well, we could put a seaweed ingredient called carrageenan into the meat, and it'll hold water like Jello, and so you can basically put 20 to 30% Jello-like substance into the turkey breast and call it turkey. And that in fact happened, and it's still going on to this day. So somewhere along the line, I thought, you know, the food that I once started off with is not the same as it is today, and I'm going to be very careful about what I eat. So I finally got out of the business, and it wasn't just for that reason. There were certainly some fine products out there in the market, and we did represent a number of them that were really quite good and weren't compromising the quality. But I decided I wanted to change, and I opened up a distribution business to sell food to outfitters, and these were river rafters, and it was a relatively small group, but it's of customers, but across the country. And I thought, what am I going to find to sell? And besides a couple of items, pre-cooked bacon and easy to prepare hash browns and things of that sort. And about that time, a company contacted me and said, would you be interested in distributing our product, our chocolate bars for us? And this company had a fun label. It was called PMS Chocolate for Women, and so it was a fun label, and we started selling it. And then I thought, I wonder if we could come up with something for river rafters. I thought, you know, when you go river rafting, you want to take a souvenir along back from your trip, and those T-shirts sell for $20 and hats for $15. Maybe we could have a chocolate river bar that would sell for $1 or $2, and so they could be an inexpensive souvenir. And so we did. We came up with a Boise River bar and a Colorado River bar, and believe it or not, an Arkansas River bar. That doesn't sound like whitewater rafting to people in Idaho, but in Colorado, it's the big river for whitewater rafting. It actually has more trips than any other river in the country for commercial trips. And so I traveled to there and started selling chocolate bars, Arkansas River bars, and to this day, one of our first customers still buys from us, a place called Bongo Billy's in Buena Vista, Colorado. But quality was what we stuck with, because I learned early on that quality is what lasts. And I've seen restaurants who we would sell to, and they'd change hands, and the restaurant was very successful, and the new owners would say, do you have something just a little bit less expensive? And I could just about tell you that restaurant was going to bet you that restaurant would last more than 6 months, because they started compromising the quality. And so my lesson I learned from that was quality sells 24/7. Doesn't even need a lot of advertising, word of mouth. And so that's what has built our company to this day, with word of mouth quality.
Yeah, well, these are really great quality chocolates. Dream Organic Chocolates. You do have a natural line and an organic line.
Correct.
And how many flavors do you have in the organic line specifically? Does it vary?
Well, organic, we have 17 flavors that we carry on our website, and they range from our plain milk and plain dark to 70% cocoa content up to our 85% cocoa content dark bars. We have milk bars with 41% cocoa with hazelnuts and with almonds, coconut. We have our lavender bars, our milk and dark lavender bars, which are made from naturally processed organic lavender oil, and that comes from the lavender plant that is a food quality lavender plant. So you don't want to just take any lavender plant and crush it and turn it into lavender flavored chocolate. But anyway, we have that. Our fun one is a hot habanero mandarin orange dark chocolate bar, which is 70% dark chocolate and has a real nice kick at the end. And our latest is our new salt and almond chocolate bar with Balinese sea salt.
I was going to ask, where do you sell to? I mean, is it all across the country? Is it nationally?
We definitely sell chocolate bars across the country to all around the country, but our distribution, most national distribution is lavender farms, where we make custom lavender bars for lavender farms using their lavender oils or their formulas for chocolate bars, and then into regionally into grocery stores and specialty stores and co-ops.
So you were talking about the labels and how that appeals to someone, a little souvenir, a little gift. You can make chocolate bars with someone else's label on it, correct? That's something you do? That's
something we do. We specialize not only in custom, we call custom, like for instance, maybe a graduation or wedding bar or a business bar that somebody's going to hand out for a business reason to encourage people to let them see the boss. To private label, where we make the chocolate bars for another company and to their special formulas, and we do quite a bit of that. What makes us enables us to react so quickly is we have our own printing department, our own artists, and so we're able to do proofs very quickly and not hold up the process with being mailed or emailed or waiting for a decision maker. We can and also make sure if it's a custom bar, it may require fitting, and we actually make the molds too if somebody wants a custom mold. And again, we can print it and check it out. Plus, we only print to order. So if somebody wants 1,000 bars and they say, can we increase it to 20 more bars, we can definitely do that. Or if they call up and say, hey, we're getting ready to, I know you're getting ready to make our bars and we only need 750, we don't have a problem with what are you going to do with those extra labels.
Some GMO ones would be fun.
I was just picturing GMO-free-Idaho bars. Speaking of that, before we started filming, we were talking about you adding that they are GMO-free on there. And currently, as our own viewers know, that is not a required label. That's totally voluntary. Can you talk a little bit about why you chose to put that on?
Well, I think it's just it's something that we're proud of. We want to make people aware of it. I think it is something that more and more people need to understand what we're talking about, and the real risk we are taking to our food chain, our vegetable and food chain, by allowing genetically modified fruits and vegetables, and even right now with the processing where we're having genetically modified plants such as sugar beets and alfalfa, there is at least lay proof out there talk that it is progressing to some other plants that are becoming resistant to Roundup. I'm not a Roundup fan. I prefer it not be used, but there are instances where in today's society where weed control is an issue, and then when we're now producing what apparently could be accidentally a whole set of weeds that an herbicide won't work on, I think that might be counterproductive to civilization.
And it creates a cycle of constantly trying to find another chemical that will take care of the last chemical's failure.
Exactly.
Right. No. Well, and speaking of labels too, these organic bars are Rainforest Alliance Certified, and they're also your cacao fair trade.
Well, cacao is fair. We have some cacao that's fair trade. There's two different organizations. There's the Fair Trade, and then there's the Rainforest Alliance. The Rainforest Alliance it takes a different approach in that they require their people that are certified Rainforest Alliance suppliers or producers to meet a criteria, which is if it's organic, that no pesticides or herbicides. If it is all natural, which they allow too, that there's only certain pesticides and herbicides are used. Everybody has to receive a fair wage, including children if they work there, or the wife, or the husband, depending on the situation on the farm. And then they are to not to raise it under plantation circumstances, but naturally in the forest. And the result is that the forest is healthier. There are butterflies and bees to pollinize, and it creates an awareness. And one of the things they attempt to do is create awareness of the public of how valuable this process is, and by that, then the producer can sell their cocoa beans for a higher price just because of the value to have that certification on their label.
Because we were talking about this earlier, and I thought it was kind of a fun little fact. Can you talk about the sludge? The sewer sludge?
Well, when it's organically certified, one of the things that we found out about organic certification is that the product that's being certified cannot be have any traces or have had sewage sludge used in the process of raising it, which begs the question. Then products that aren't organically certified could possibly have traces of sewage sludge.
So these are non-GMO and sewage sludge free. Good to know.
I think the organic certification process means that every step along the way has to be certified by an inspector. So that means that any ingredient that we use has to be certified, and we have to have those files, and they have to be current. You cannot have an outdated product certification. If the product was produced in, say, May of 2012, that certificate has to be in order, or it has to be in the process of being recertified. And they go to the farms and they make sure, they audit and make sure that they are following the process. And it's a very strong audit. I mean, even in our case, if we bring in, we show that we use 100 pounds of organic almonds, then they'll check to make sure that we've only sold 100 pounds of organic almond worth filled bars. I mean, in other words, maybe that's 1,000 chocolate bars, but they're going to make sure that we didn't bring in 50 pounds of non-organic almonds. So that's why I think you can feel pretty comfortable about the organic process, the certification process, that they really are very strict in making sure that the food hasn't been compromised.
That's really good to know, because you pay a premium, you pay extra for organic foods, and it's good to know that there's a...
that the standards are
that the standards are high.
Yeah, the standards are high, because there are all kinds of things that go on out there. I mean, there are people that accidentally get the field sprayed.
Right. I also wanted to ask, we talked about this earlier too, when you started making organic chocolates, was it to meet a consumer demand? Did you see that people were starting to want this product? Did you just kind of try it on for size and it really worked, or?
It wasn't an easy process. We actually worked with Mary Jane Farms in Moscow, Idaho. Are you familiar with Mary Jane Farms?
No.
So this is Mary Jane Farms, and her name is Mary Jane Butters, and she is the kind of the Martha Stewart of the organic movement. And she is an amazing lady. You should go. I know you'll look her up. There's another Mary Jane out there who's kind of copied her name, and so it's Mary Jane, all one word. And look up Mary Jane Farms, and then you'll see the sites that she has, including the Mary Jane Sisterhood and all of this. And she not only does chocolate bars that we do for her, they have a line of organic backpacking food.
Oh, cool.
And then she has a whole line of bedding and things like that.
So even in Moscow then, there's a demand, because Jenny and I have only been doing this been aware of GMOs for 2 years, been doing this for a year, and it's mind-blowing to see this movement and how fast it's accelerating.
Well, I think it helps to have the films out there. I don't know that in a place like Moscow you'll find it. In the Midwest, it's a little different. You got farm culture. When we first came out with organic bars, a lot of people said, "Why organic?" And right now, as you know, my quick answer is, I don't like sewage sludge on my food. And that stops them right there.
Right.
Good short answer.
Yeah, short answer.
But we didn't have that then. It was just kind of like, well, there's this group of people who don't trust the herbicides and pesticides in the way they're prepared.
Well, there's a sign that I love that says, enjoy organic food, or as your grandparents used to call it, food.
Yeah. So this is the way we get our big quantity of chocolate.
And I noticed it's fair trade.
Yeah, some of it's fair trade, some of it's Rainforest Alliance.
Oh, okay.
Which is somewhat similar, pretty similar, a little bit different company. This is Pam, our chocolatier.
Hi. Wow, that's a big chocolate bar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smells so good.
In the chocolate world, there's either compound, which basically shortening is added to it, which gives it some flexibility, but also to cheapen it. And a lot of cheap chocolate has shortening added to it. We talk about additives, that's one of the things they do. They will use a high-end shortening like palm oil to put it in if you want to get strawberries or something like that. So but we don't buy any of that. So ours is all tempered. You have to melt it about 110 degrees. Put out all the crystals in the chocolate bar, and then cool it about 86 degrees with the right crystals form, so that it again has a nice sheen and snap to it. What they're doing is they're taking the bars out of the pan, out of the molds.
What flavor is that?
It looks like milk.
Yeah,
this
milk
is,
chocolate.
This is 34%?
Yeah, 34%.
When she's saying 34%, that's the cocoa content of the bar.
Oh, okay.
And they're all natural.
So this is our big pot. This holds 500 pounds of chocolate.
Wow. Really?
That would probably not be.
Sticking their mouth into that?
Well, let me put it this way, I never caught them.
Never caught them.
But people are allowed to eat chocolate here, so they're not exactly like here.
Right.
Everybody gonna try some?
You gonna try some?
Yeah.
Okay, you kind of.
Thank you.
So what's your favorite flavor?
Probably the 85% dark, sea salt and almond, and hot habanero. This is our sea salt and almond, which is our newest product and our #1 selling bar right now. Sea salts from Valley and are actually put on seaweed by the surf and dry on the surf, and they form hollow pyramids of little crystals, hollow pyramids. When you bite into one of those, you get a release of it.
It's actually really salty, and I love it. It's really good.
I've never had salted chocolate.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
Chili peppers.
All right.
Okay,
Are you
very well.
Spicy stuff.
She's brave.
Alrighty. Well, actually, there's a
Now
lot of
this
people.
is 70%.
This is 70%. We'll try the 85 to finish up, but still, we're gonna have, yeah.
Habanero, 70% cacao.
That is really good and really spicy, but that's really good.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a kick.
The longer it stays in your mouth, the warmer it gets.
Yeah, I like that.
Uh-huh.
And so this
This is 85.
85.
And believe it or not, I've seen a lot of younger children like this. This surprises me because their parents won't think they will.
See, in our house, we're dark chocolate eaters, except for I have one boy that doesn't like dark. So I think he was adopted.
You know what I like about dark chocolate is that it's so rich and flavorful that you don't have to have a lot.
Yeah.
So you don't have that guilt of eating a whole chocolate bar.
Yeah, it's pretty fulfilling.
Yeah, it really is.
But even when it is, 80% cacao,
Goes really
there's
good with
health
coffee.
benefits to that though too. So.
You notice this one really has a really fine finish. It's going to just linger on with a nice finish, no rough harshness, and that's because of the amount of time that's in the machine kneading out the impurities.
Yeah.